Shout out to Lil Bro for this one.
What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Fadeaway Hokage. Subscribers know what it is, but if you aren't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button down below. That way if you don't know, now you know. Today I want to talk to you guys about digital currency. Let's get right into it. Alright, first things first, y'all may or may not have already heard about something called cryptocurrency. What makes cryptocurrency so unique is that each transaction is recorded and verified using cryptographic functions. What that means for cryptocurrency itself is that each actual transaction is very secure, right? In fact, each transaction cannot be authorized or completed rather without the authorization of some digital signature. So if you don't have this signature, or if you're not able to compute this mathematical equation, you can't actually make a transaction with cryptocurrency. This kind of helps when it comes to things like fraud, right? Because you can't necessarily get someone's bank account information, like spoof an IP address, and then make a deposit or a withdrawal. This sort of technology is what we call blockchain technology, right? Stay with me. Think of blockchain technology as a ledger of some sorts, right? A Google Sheets or a Microsoft Excel sheet, if you will. Every transaction made with that cryptocurrency is recorded in that Excel sheet. However, you cannot change that Excel sheet without permissions, or in this case, without that signature. And it's important to know that only the transactions of the wallets is what's recorded. No actual personal information is recorded. One of the reasons why cryptocurrency gained so much popularity, other than the fact that it was something new and you can make a lot of money in it per se, is the fact that cryptocurrency is decentralized. This means that there is no central authority, if you will, governing these transactions. There are no banks, there is no government involved. Users are free to trade amongst themselves without any type of interference, if you will. So you have the anonymous factor. Of course, again, there is no information that is linked to you that will be saved other than the wallet. You can transfer these funds across borders and they're instantaneous, right? Okay, you ever get like a deposit from work and you see it pending in your bank account? Or say you're trying to do a withdrawal, or you go to pay a bill, credit card bill, and it's pending, and then sometimes you may think you have more money than you don't, and then you hit with an overdraft fee or something like that. Cryptocurrency kind of mitigates that because all the transactions happen as soon as you make that trade. So okay, Joe, so that you told me that it's decentralized, right? You told me it's secure, but why would I want to go through the trouble of even owning some type of cryptocurrency? What's the big idea? Well, I'm glad you asked, and it's exactly that. Ownership. Because of its decentralized property, cryptocurrency actually is a lot more valuable than, say, dollars or euros. You are the actual owner. You don't need a bank to hold your money. You don't need some type of reserve to hold your money. You actually own that wallet and you own that cryptocurrency. Even when it comes to investing in stocks or bonds, right? Someone still has to hold that for you. Because of this property, cryptocurrency actually has drawn comparisons to physical assets such as gold or silver. These are some things that you can kind of buy and keep in your home, and they will keep the value to be maybe traded later on or turned in later on, and you can actually again own these items yourself. This makes cryptocurrency a very good backup, right, in case of emergencies. Say you're traveling around the world and you haven't had time to kind of go to somewhere to exchange the money of currencies, or if you're in a big continent that has a lot of different countries that may have different types of currencies, and you don't have the right form of the currency in that country, right? A lot of countries, however, will accept different cryptocurrencies, the biggest one being Bitcoin. So if you have no other funds available, or say again your bank account is like, hey, we can get you these funds, but because you're so far away, it'll take so long to verify these funds, you'll get them in 2 to 3 business days, right? If you have the cryptocurrency and you have it available, again, these transactions are instantaneous, so you can go ahead and pay for what you need right then and there. Cryptocurrency also has less ties, I would say, to the overall economy. Now, I want to be very careful and specific when I say this, right? Cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin or Ethereum, they do rise and fall in a very similar fashion to the stock market, right? In fact, they're a lot more volatile then stocks themselves. However, again, because it is decentralized, there is no interference from outside sources. So let's say, for example, the economy goes into a recession and the banks put a withdrawal limit. Now, we have seen this done before in other countries. You only will be able to draw $60 a day or $100 a day, because the banks, if everybody pulls their money out at one time, then the banks will fail. So you have this withdrawal limit on your money, and you can only withdraw so much, but you need more to pay off other things, right? Okay, well, if you have a cryptocurrency, and again, I'm going to use Bitcoin in this case because Bitcoin is the most popular and the most, and it's worth the most currently. If you have Bitcoin, you can sell either a Bitcoin or a partial Bitcoin and use that money for what you need to pay. Now, cryptocurrencies have been gaining traction around the world since their inception. So much so that a lot of countries are actually leaning towards creating their own digital assets. Now, this leads us into our second subtopic about digital currencies, a central bank digital currency, or a CBDC for short. Now, a CBDC is exactly how it sounds, right? It is a digital currency. However, it is controlled by a central authority. It's a country's own form of a digital asset. Now, I know you guys just heard me rave about one of the greatest things about cryptocurrencies, about how it's decentralized, right? Creating a CBDC actually takes the D out of decentralized. In fact, a CBDC will actually give the government more powerful ways to manage the economy. Here's an example. Remember when we were going through COVID and President Trump was giving out the stimulus checks? Remember how there was a whole verification process and you had to wait to get the check? Imagine if you have an account or a wallet, right, with the Federal Reserve, and they were able to just give you that $1,300 in their own digital asset instantaneously. There'll be no waiting period. There will be no, hey, we gotta, we release the checks. They'll be here in about a week. They're rolling out. You'll see them soon. In fact, hey, here's the checks. Boom. There you go. Or how about you get denied by a loan from a commercial bank, right? If commercial banks will still be running in conjunction with this CBDC and they decide, hey, we can't give you $1,000 loan that you might need, the Federal Reserve might say, hey, well, if they won't give you the loan, come to us. We'll give you this digital asset of $1,000 and whatever the currency will be in, right? It's digital currency, and then you can go about your business that way. Now, it's important to know, though, that these transactions work both ways. If the wallet is controlled by a central authority, just as easy as they can deposit the money in the wallet, they can also withdraw the money from the wallet. That's just something to keep in mind. Now, yes, it does reduce some of the risk and complexity, right? Banks won't have to necessarily verify when you go and submit a check or deposit some money or try and get a withdrawal, because again, all the transactions in cryptocurrency are secure. And again, yes, it could be also more convenient in this sense, where I don't have to kind of go and deposit something at a bank and actually physically go, or again, I keep saying the waiting period, right? But convenience, although we do trade it for security often, may not always be the best thing. There are a couple cons I want to point out when it comes to a CBDC. The first being dollarization, right? What that basically means is you have two different forms of currency running side by side in a country. So you have the physical dollar that we all know and love, and then you have the digital asset by the CBDC. If these are not equally balanced, whichever is more powerful, whichever is more convenient, whichever is more secure in a sense, can outlast the actual dollar. There may be more legislation, more support, more infrastructure for one dollar than the other, until eventually there's only one form of currency in that country. And we've kind of seen almost the phasing out, if you will, of physical assets or physical coins, physical dollars. Just about everybody, at least that I know, has some type of credit card or some type of debit card, right? It's a lot easier just kind of swipe the card. You don't have to have cash per se in hand. You have Apple Pay, right? You don't even need a wallet or a card at this point. You just kind of take your phone, put it up to the reader, and then boom, the transaction is complete. Or even again during the pandemic, right? Certain businesses were going on about a coin shortage, and so you could only use Apple Pay or debit cards or credit cards. A central digital currency also takes away some of that privacy we talked about. Now, again, no personal information is being stored in these ledgers or in that Microsoft Excel sheet, right, when you're making the transactions in regular cryptocurrency. However, if a central authority is kind of governing this digital asset, they are the ones who have access to all the information that goes on. Who's to say that there may not be legislation established where they can see, you know, maybe addresses or social security numbers as well too tied to these wallets? Now I know what you're thinking, Joe Kage, hey, you know, you're going a little over the head here. Conspiracy theorists, you know, this and that, right? Take China for example. China has already implemented a CBDC, and what they've done with their digital currency is put an expiration date on it, right? It should be known that these digital currencies, while they are don't have any legislation attached to them per se, right? There is some loose legislation. You have to report it like on your taxes, right? But when you create a digital currency, they are programmable. I mean, you can attach legislation to these digital currencies, or you can do what China do and say, hey, you have until, you know, 3 months from these digital assets being dispersed before they expire and you can't use them anymore. And to kind of piggyback on a China point, CBDCs are no longer hypotheticals, okay? In 2020, guys, 3 years ago, only 35 countries were even thinking about developing a CBDC. At the time of this recording in 2023, there are 114 countries exploring a CBDC. Of those 114 countries, they represent 95% of the world's GDP. And of those 114 countries, 60 of those countries are either piloting, researching and developing, or have launched or are launching their own versions of a CBDC, including the United States. Let me know, guys, what you think about in the comments about digital currency, both a CBDC, right, central bank digital currency, and cryptocurrency in general. What are your thoughts on it? That's all I have for you guys, man. I appreciate you guys coming out. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and please do share this information. It's for everybody to know and for everybody to become aware of some of the technologies that we have in 2023. All right, it's been real. My name's Joe Kage. Peace.
Shout out to Lil Bro for this one.